Hail, welcome, hail Warden, hail Frigga, hail ancestors, hail kindred, hail to anybody who does watch and listens to what I'm saying today. Oh, I've drunk a generous amount of Saxon Spirit Mead now. I make myself here at the Earth. This week doing these devotionals, I'm going to admit I've enjoyed it, but early on the morning, wow, by certain afternoon I've been wanting to have an hour skip to sleep it off. It's really strong, it's beautiful, and that's the maple mead and two different strains of honey mead what I've got at the moment, and I've got another something about 15-17 litres brewing at the moment. Wow, I could be eternally drunk. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the devotionals, you get some out of them or you don't. I know it's not common practice, I make them up myself, but feels right to me, feels good to me. Today feels even more stunning because it's for Frigga. I've had my incense burning, but with all these fresh cut plants out of my garden, and there's everything from dandelions to red maple, and there's a green maple, there's hawthorn, there's wych elm. The amount of things I've got growing in my garden, the only thing that I haven't taken from is the Spanish bluebell, because I've only got one growing. So I'm not willing to cut from it, but it just smells absolutely stunning here. I could just stay here all day, to be honest. I could. I started on Sauna's Dag last week, so I've done a devotional every day. So I'm not going to keep filming them every single week, because when I'm back at work I won't be doing one every morning, as I've explained. It might be on an evening, but either way, this week is just because I'm at home. I thought I might as well show it. I do generally get my ass out of bed and do blots and devotionals and stuff like that. This is really about tomorrow, Saturday, or Saturn's Day, really. Obviously I am no way in this world going to do a blot to Saturn. There's nothing to do with the northern traditions in any way, shape or form. But ancestrally, when you look it up, it's known as Washing Day. I'm not going to hold a blot to Washing Day. And so I'm just throwing this out there to see what people think. A lot of people at the moment are giving it to Loki. I've done that before, because I'm not offended by the idea of Loki. But it doesn't feel like that's where I want to go. So I am going to film a devotional tomorrow. I don't really have a very good Godhead for Saxon, because there's no real imagery of him, very scant information about him, but he was, so I suppose I kind of liken him to Thor in a way. He's called Sword Friend, which makes him more like Tyr in that sense. A man of the sword, but he was called on by communities. So as Thornor is a god of the old common folk, when raiders came, when battle came, as far as I can find out, Saxnot was like to be called on by that community to be with them, to help them defend what's theirs at that point in time. So probably not held as in quite as high esteem as Thornor, but there's so limited information. I've held blots and vigils and like concentrated and tried to find out everything I can. There's very little, but you can make a connection with Saxnot as long as you've got some kind of effigy. So at the moment I have got a Saxon warrior that I use. He has got a big axe in his hand, but he does wear a sword as well. So that is what I actually use as my godhead, because if you wanted someone to come and protect you, you'd want to bring the big axe and the sword and the shield and come and fight with you. So that's my image of Saxnot as a warrior god who I could call on to help me if this earth was under attack and there were only 2 or 3 of us here. So that's what I'm going to give tomorrow's devotional to. I don't know what anyone else thinks about that, but we certainly don't have a dedicated day in the week for Saxonot. Saturday, Saxaday, Saxonot. it's a play on words, but why not? And it feels better than Loki, to be honouring one of our ancestral gods. If I do like an ancestral hero or warrior's feast, I tend to add Saxon into that kind of thing as well. So I'm just throwing it out there because that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. I'm not writing note down for I just do them as they come. So if you hear me slip up on a word and you have to correct myself, it's because it's really happening. I don't write it, or the only thing that is written down is if I'm reading from headers. And when I do the calling of the Grey Wanderer at the beginning, they're not my words. They're taken from the book by Ed Fitch, The Rites of Odin, which I've had that book for absolutely years, and I've always had like a little copy of that poem that calls well, obviously I use the name Woden, where he's just saying Odin, but again, it's play on words. It's same man with a different hat on. So I can't memorise all that yet. I probably will be able to one day once I get my head around it. But everything else genuinely just comes out on the day, and that's what I think devotionals should be about. There's some structure, but I didn't know what I was going to put in here today. I didn't know which plants I was going to cut. I knew I'd bring my figure heads of Frigg that I've made and the painting that I've done, so I've got her represented in the block, and I've got my little offering bowl now, and at some point I will be rooming that up, but it doesn't feel like the right time yet. Everything's as it should be at this point in time is what I'm feeling, so I'm just kind of going with the flow. And at some point I am going to start writing down some structure to these plots for people who do come to the hearth. We'll have a structure to follow because we are going through another bit of a transition. Me and Luke are the two figureheads again now for the hearth, and we're not going to take any new physical members at this point in time. We're going to get things right. Engest, if you're watching this, so Helgi, if you come across from Iceland at any time, obviously we're not going to say no, you're not coming, fucking hell. But we're on about taking actual members because they just keep letting us down. I've dedicated over 30 years of my life to my path, and Luke is quite new to the path, but he's still, it's like 3 years he's just been there solid, and he's not going anywhere. And I've had so many people rise and fall in this earth, and so it's just like, at this point it's more about consolidation for us. Like the new page, if anybody's following the Wandering Rune Teller on Instagram, I will be opening a page. I've mentioned it already for the Wandering Rune Teller. It's not ready to launch yet, but keep your ears open for that. So 3 milkings. If it's nice and fine tonight, because obviously if pissing down I'm not going to get a fire going, but I don't do Beltane, I'm not Wiccan, I don't class myself as pagan, heathen, Odinist, Wodenist, I'm just Woden's man. I'm dedicated to Lord Woden. The other gods are the peripherals to me. I do not follow the Vania whatsoever, and haven't done for a long time, even when I was transitioning from the Norse to the Saxon stuff, and before that I'm not a Vania worshipper at all. I'll do a new video about that at some point and my feelings on that, because it tends to be a different way of thinking than a lot of people. Right, I've prattled on way too much, so great Friggs Dag, 3 milkings. Make sure we keep it real, keep it ancestral. Hail Woden, hail Frigga, hail all of you. I'm off for a sleep.